I was a little bit worried when I found out he was actually training Andy Ruiz, because he had a crack of the whip before with Dominic Brazil. We had Manny Robles in London. He got a chance to see 7 rounds with Anthony Joshua up close. And now he has a second chance with his charge, Andy Ruiz, to become the unified world heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the trainer for Andy Ruiz, Manny Robles.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you to the entire press that's here today. I don't have very much to say. All I can tell you is that my boy here, Andy Ruiz, is ready. He's ready for the challenge. We had a great camp. You know, people think this was a short camp, but in reality, it wasn't. We've been in the gym for pretty much 15 weeks, and we had a tune-up fight in between. So, of course, we got the big call, and you know, we're taking advantage of this great opportunity. Thank you to Anthony Joshua for giving us a chance. The crack of the title, we're going to give you a run for your money, that's for sure. And everyone, we're going to be walking into Sweet Caroline, but we're going to be walking out to México lindo y querido. Esta va para toda la raza. ¡Viva México!
Thank you, Manny. A guy that has been with Anthony Joshua from the start, even back in the amateur days, a mentor to Anthony Joshua, an advisor at times, and of course a trainer who has seen him develop from a novice in the amateurs to the unified heavyweight world champion. One of the top, if not the top trainer in the UK right now, the coach of Anthony Joshua, Robert McCracken.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Andy Ruiz was the best available contender when Miller failed his drugs test. Ruiz for me was the toughest opponent at that stage. I thought we needed somebody that was going to motivate Anthony. There was a couple of names thrown around that I didn't think would have motivated him, and the camp would have become hard. But with Ruiz, he recognises that he's a quality fighter. Technically he's sound, he has a good coach. He was very close in the Parker fight. He's a world level fighter. He's a serious contender. And that's what Anthony Joshua is about. He wants to fight the best that's out there. Right now, Andy Ruiz is the best that's out there for this date. That's the challenge. Josh is ready. We went to Miami. It was fantastic. He worked really hard. 4 weeks keeping him locked up. It was brilliant. He got some good work in. He focused. Ruiz is a good fighter, but we feel AJ's a deserving champion, and will go on and produce a fantastic performance in a great fight, and they'll continue on and unify the division. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Again, now we go to the fighters. This man, like I said, reached out for the shot, he got it, and I've been following him on social media for the last 5 or 6 weeks. I've just seen a big smile on his face, a man that has no fear going into this fight at all. The man, as he said, is just going to let his hands go and try and become Mexico's first ever world champion. A win would make him just a huge, huge star of the sport of boxing. We know he's motivated and he's dangerous. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger on Saturday night, Andy Ruiz.
First of all, I want to thank God, my team, Al Heyman, Eddie Hearns for making this happen. Been waiting for this all my life. Been training so hard since my last fight against Alexander Dmytrenko. I think it came in a perfect timing to fight against Anthony Joshua. And those belts look really shiny, really good, man. And you know, I'm just ready. I'm ready for June 1st. I'm ready to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to bring those belts back to Mexico. Well, they've never been in Mexico, but they're going to be on June 1st. I don't really have nothing bad to say about Anthony Joshua. He's a champion. I'm a fan of him. I respect him, but inside of the ring, there's not going to be no respect. There's not going to be no fans, no friends, but all I could tell you is to tune in June 1st at the Madison Square Garden. There's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm going to give it all I got, and we're going to win this from Mexico. Viva Mexico!
Thank you, Andy. And finally, as we said, an incredible journey to get to this stage. Wembley, the Principality in Cardiff, O2, Manchester Arena, the SECC in Glasgow, in Cardiff. It's been phenomenal. On Saturday, he makes his American debut at the Mecca of boxing. The current reigning unified WBO, WBA, IBF and IBO World Heavyweight Champion, Anthony Joshua.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Thank you for being here. I'm better at doing more question and answers than talking about myself. So I'd like to thank Eddie, Rob, The Zone, Sky Sports, my sponsors who helped me prepare, my team. I've got my amateur coaches there, Sean Murphy, Gary Foley, their wives, my dad there, his wife. My team, Ben, who took me to boxing years ago. It's been a good journey. The sport is tough, no doubt about it, but dedication, focus, and purpose gives me reason to kind of return to the gym each time. I won this title here, the red one, in my 16th fight. I think I was like 3 years into being a professional, and I just kind of wanted to take these challenges without overlooking Andy or his team at all. Andy knows what it's like to be a fighter when you've got this opportunity in front of you, what can come after. So naturally, we always look past. So when I was kind of fighting for that title, I always had my eyes on the next challenge, and the next challenge, hoping to get to the next one. Fighting Andy, for me, is just as dangerous as fighting Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, because they both possess their own skills, and it's a banana skin fight for me in both aspects. So I've got to take Andy deadly serious. I don't overlook him at all. I respect him. I respect his whole team. And I really respect the fact that he put his name on the dotted line to take this challenge. No challenge is easy. No matter what the bookmakers say or the odds are telling you, Andy's going to come in here, as we all know, and give me a real good fight, cause problems, and it's down to me as a champion to think smart, box clever, and out-skill, out-strength, and out-muscle Andy Ruiz to get that win. And there's no fight like after the fight. When your hands are raised, your opponent's been defeated, and you're thinking about sitting on a beach or going home to your family and focusing on the next challenge ahead. Right now, I'm only champion till June the 1st, because this is when I have to defend my titles. So I'm currently heavyweight champion of the world. June 1st, I put them up in the air and they're up for grabs. So may the best man win. I wish you well. Good luck. Manny, good to see you again. And thank you for coming out, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.
Thank you, guys. We're going to go to the floor to questions, so get your questions ready. You're going to have some mics roaming around. Just one other thank you as well to the incredible team at Matchroom Boxing UK, Matchroom Boxing USA. I try and name them all, but I forget some now and again, so I'm just going to say thank you to everybody. You know who you are. This is a big moment for us as well as a business, and we're going to enjoy Saturday night just as much as every fan in there in the arena. We're going to go to the floor now for questions. Yes.
Dr. Abi with World Liberty TV Boxing Channel. This question is for Anthony Joshua. You brought in a SEAL guy who's training you just in case you get knocked out and to overcome that. Can you shed a little light on that, why you got him engaged? And it seems like you're taking this fight very seriously when you have a guy like a SEAL involved in this. Thank you.
Navy SEAL.
Oh, with the Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah. Yes, so.
Not an actual SEAL.
Not an actual SEAL. No. This sport, anything you're doing, sport is like just the title. Discipline, dedication is what underlies that in anything you do. Let's say you work, promotion, discipline, dedication. So that's the underlying factor of it all. So I've been fighting now as a whole 11 years, amateur, professional, and I work with only like a few people, Finchley ABC and GB Boxing. And these guys have been with me, developing me. And it was about time that we all came together with the support I had from Under Armour, and we kind of packaged everything we had learned, and we're trying to express ourselves, even for me as a fighter, because in my culture, I'm Nigerian heritage, I can't talk back to the adults. I can't say anything. Yes, dad. No, dad. Mum. Yeah, no. Yeah. So when my coach is telling me run 10 miles and I'm beaten up, I could never express that with my coach. I'd just be like, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes. So it's just about expressing, bringing ourselves together in certain situations, being under pressure, how you deal with these things. So boxing is, what I'm saying is that's just a title. What the underlying factor is communication, the discipline, dealing with pressure. And you can take that across any field, not only sports. And that's what kind of that was about, is building up the next phase of my career as a person, not just a fighter.
Yes. Yes. Microphone in there, please.
This is for AJ, Valeria Rubino, V-Sport, Corriere della Sera. Anthony, you said you don't want to be a legend. Who is Anthony Joshua today, and who do you want to be in 10 years?
Who is Anthony Joshua today? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't really want to be a legend because I just fade off after sport and just be a family man, which is important to me. Who is Anthony Joshua today? Currently a fighter, a serious fighter, serious about my life. And in the future, I'm going to use my resources, my opportunity and my knowledge to give back to a lot of younger kids, I think. And it sounds boring, right? But through my opportunities, right now, I always believe charity starts at home. So you've got to take care of your family, number one. And then once all your family is uplifted and your friends are in a position, your cousins and stuff, then we can look out to help other people. So that's what I'll be doing in the next 10 years. But right now is about fighting.
Yeah, I'm back.
Andrew Rosario, New York Beacon. Andy, what did you take away from your only loss, and what is it going to take for you to come out the champion on Saturday night?
I think I learned a lot, from the Parker fight, having to work hard, training harder, especially moving trainers with Manny Robles. Learned a lot from him, carrying the speed, the movement that I need to win on June 1st, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Any further questions from the media? One more. Got a microphone down here, guys, to the front, please.
Hi, Anthony. Jimmy from Boxing Action Magazine. Talk about your training, and also if you had to change anything because of the different opponent that was in between your training.
So training, we do a lot of running, a lot of sparring. If you had to pick two things for me, if I was a coach and I was looking at my fighter, I'd make sure he does his road work and I'll make sure he does his sparring, so we do a lot of that. The good thing is with my coach is that as much as I love boxing, so, when I'm on the internet, I really only look at boxing. I don't even really like sport anyway. I don't watch basketball, I don't watch soccer, I don't really follow NFL, cricket, baseball. I just like boxing, so I watch a lot of boxing. So with that, I kind of study a lot of other fighters and stuff. But we always just work on myself. Like my coach looks at me and he's like, Josh, this hand's low, that hand's low, relaxing the upper torso, da-da-da-da. So we've always just practiced on myself. The only change we would have had to make in training camp is when we was looking for another opponent, is if Ruiz Ortiz was to have taken a fight, I would have had to have changed to practice for a southpaw. But other than that, my coach has always been developing me as a person. Like Andy over here had 105 amateur fights, won 100 of them, came through the professional ranks, basically undefeated fighter. He had a great fight with Joseph Parker. He's very experienced. My career has been a lot shorter than that. So my coach has been drilling me, working on fundamentals and basics. So the only changes we tend to make is not so much towards an opponent. It's only if he was to switch stance to an southpaw. Other than that, my coach is just solely focused on making me a better fighter. And I like that approach because I feel like this. If anything ever goes wrong, I don't blame, say, he was better than me. It's just down to me to get better. I've lost in the past. I lost my third fight against Dylan. I lost in the World Championships final. And I lost in the European quarterfinal. And I never kind of said that person was better than me. I just blamed myself and I thought I need to work harder and smarter. So that's like how me and my coach work in the gym.
This question's for Anthony. The American public the boxing public have really seemed to embrace you being over here. Is it going to become a common theme of Anthony Joshua fighting in the US, or is it just a one-off?
You know how it goes. Everyone loves a winner. If you're winning, you can fight anywhere in the world. Look, UK has been with me from the start, from grassroots, so I'll never forget where home is and where I'm fighting. But as a world champion, you have to fight around the world, so there's no problem with me. As I said, I love boxing because all you need is a ring, a coach, and a boxing bag. And we can take this setup, training camp, like we did to Miami, New York. We can fight anywhere in the world. So there's no problem with me fighting around the world, but I'll never forget where my home is and where the base is for me, and that's in UK. Also, what's good about fighting in UK, I think, is the emerging talent that's coming up as well. Some people are showcasing their skills on Saturday. So it's good as well to be fighting in the UK because it's nice to have some respect. Like Andy's getting respect from Mexico. American champions fight for America, we fight for UK. So it's good to kind of not forget that we're trying to lift up the sport in UK as well.
Solomon Sissoko as well on the card on Saturday. Forgot to mention him earlier.
Solomon Sissoko,
great talent.
French fighter, bronze medalist in Beijing.
Yeah, one more question here. It's in the middle.
Anthony J. Aaron Seabold, FightHype.com. The closer that this fight gets and the more that the public gets to know who Andy Ruiz is, I think the more excitement there is for this fight and the more of, I think people are viewing this as maybe a closer fight than the Big Baby Miller fight. Do you agree with that assessment, that this might have even been the better fight to begin with?
Good question. That's a very good question. That's a question that you might have to ask Eddie. Maybe you're trying to get me a little easy fight with Miller, but that boy wasn't going to make it easy with all them drugs in his body, That would have been a proper scrap. Like, that I was, when I look back, I thought, the guy's a big guy and all that, fine. I don't think he's a good boxer, but it would have been a proper scrap with all them PEDs in his system, but it is what it is. I would have to break him down anyway. But that's a question that you have to ask Eddie. I don't know why we would have overlooked Ruiz. I don't know. That's a good question. But I think what it is that, in my opinion, Miller's with the zone. And he's promoted by Eddie. So it works well. It's easy to make. With Andy, he's with a different advisor and so on. So I don't know why he didn't go direct there. But sometimes it's easy to do good business with people in your stable as well. Hence why Miller was a competitor. Interestingly, Miller and Ruiz were going to fight previously, so it's like the same. We're all on the same playing field. Ruiz, Miller, myself, we're all fighting for the same cause, trying to be the best in our division. So I'm glad I'm fighting Ruiz as well, because he will bring out the best in me in terms of his style. He uses attributes well, comes forward off the line. His left hook is one of his best punches. It's hurt a lot of people, and it's what comes after that as well. Miller wasn't I don't think he can box as well as Ruiz, in my opinion. But as I said, with everything that was inside of him, would have made it a good fight.
Just to comment on that as well, I do think it's a tougher fight than Jarrell Miller. I think the Miller fight was made for a couple of reasons. One, it was a good fight. Two, he does work with the zone. And three, there was that genuine beef between them. And that was evident in the build-up. But I do believe this is a tougher fight than Jarrell Miller. Right. We're going to do one more picture up here now with the two fighters and the belts, and then we're going to break for more media, and we'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow. The doors will open at 2:30 at Madison Square Garden. A message to the UK fans coming over: we made the weigh-in 3:30 p.m. so the flights coming in to New York will all get a chance to see the weigh-in. Please register for tickets. I think we're at about 4,000 plus tickets already, and we've only got about another 1,000 in the capacity we have for the garden. So it's going to be full up. It's completely free. Just register for tickets, and we'll see you for a great atmosphere tomorrow and a wonderful event on Saturday night. Thank you very much.